All right, so what I'm going to be talking about today is embodying our cosmic soul song. And what I really feel guided to explore at this time as we prepare humanity for open contact with our galactic community, the importance of really embodying our cosmic soul song at this time. And in a world where we are interacting with extraterrestrial, interdimensional life, I'm going to be sharing about the importance of each of us remembering our cosmic soul song, how we know what that is, what the power is of being our cosmic soul song, not only for ourselves, but for all of humanity, and ways we can really support that as we navigate the challenges of this time and the opportunities that are also available. So, just diving into a little bit about my personal journey, as Tamara mentioned, I am a galactic astrologer, sound practitioner, and 5D business mentor. And one of my greatest passions in this lifetime has been podcasts and interviews. And what I didn't realize at the time when I started is that what I was being guided to create is a safe space for starseed transmissions to grow bigger and louder on the planet at this time, which I feel many of us have been called to do. But really, as I expanded, I started to be drawn to explore blueprints from the lens of astrology, numerology, gene keys, galactic astrology. And what I found was missing, really, that was illuminated through galactic astrology is really helping us to understand the multidimensionality of our existence. And so from there, my guides nudged me to begin working with sound frequencies. And through the experience of working with sound, I realized that not only is sound a catalyst for reharmonizing and relaxing, it really is a tool for healing on a mind, body, and soul level. I really feel sound to be the science and the medicine of our future. And so, really, a lot of records are coming back online at this time, illuminating how governments and secret space programs are tracking extraterrestrial and interterrestrial beings and their interactions with Earth. And so we're receiving more and more every day about this information about secret space programs, about the existence and the vastness of our universe. And so one of the ways that this is really coming back online at this time is through QHHT sessions, through starseed readings, through whistleblower accounts, and through platforms like Portal to Ascension that really have this deep mission to help us illuminate and remember this information that has been hidden for so long and that is so critically important to remember at this time. And, there's just, as an example, the Book of Alien Races, which was originated by the KGB, the Russian, government. It started in 1946 as a way for special forces to really connect with all the information, the treasure trove of alien species, their places of origin, their traits, and how they're communicating with and contributing to human evolution here on Earth. And so now we have access to this kind of information. It is becoming more and more in our mainstream media and news, and just really easily accessible. And so it helps us to reactivate memories that have been shut down, blocked, mind controlled. Now, all of a sudden, the frequencies on the planet are getting so high, to a point that we are able to really remember. Those barriers of forgetfulness are not holding any longer. And so, what I really want to share about galactic astrology is that we have the ability to tap into our galactic past and soul memories. We're able to really better understand what our soul's directive was prior to this incarnation, why we came here, what our soul mission is, and how we can have the courage to really live and embody that mission in this lifetime. And so really by integrating galactic astrology, we're able to explore our soul's origins and journey through the cosmos, which can be often really deeply comforting to discover life that existed beyond this physical earth plane. And so many of us have a deep knowing that we're not from earth and that we come from other star systems and maybe have a connection to the Pleiades, to Arcturus, to Sirius, to Andromeda, to many other fixed stars and constellations. And so through the process of galactic astrology, it's really looking at the fixed star alignments and placements to be able to better understand our soul's journey through the cosmos. And so just to illuminate a few for many tuning in that may have connections to some of these star systems, through these galactic readings, what is illuminated are these common themes. So perhaps somebody that has a deep connection with Lyran history may have a feeling of guilt or responsibility, not seeing the destruction coming that took place during the Lyran Wars. Lyran starseeds have a tendency to really live naturally in harmony and alignment with cosmic law. These are deep record keepers that have such a profound relationship, oftentimes to the Akash, ability to recall history. And when we look at Syrian star seeds, oftentimes there is a memory of having been maybe sworn to secrecy or having the experience of religion being manipulated and distorted from the original teachings. And a lot of times Syrian star seeds have a deep connection to Atlantean timelines, and they're often very advanced souls. For example, Nicholas Tesla, Rudolf Steiner. So these are souls that, a lot of times their wisdom wasn't recognized and fully appreciated till many years after their time on the earth plane. Arcturians are there, often starseed characteristics have this tendency to really help with the rehabilitation of souls, healing emotional trauma, energetic connections to other timelines. Arcturians have a very scientific approach and a very deep connection with many different healing modalities. They're helping us to really break free from the emotional binds of our past. And so while it can be really fun to tap into, lives and other star systems, what I find to be really helpful and relevant to share about these starseed readings is that we can find sort of this common theme, this common thread that is still expressing and playing out in this current incarnation. And really, the invitation is for us to heal, to integrate, to be able to learn from the past so we're able to move forward in a new way. And so many of you are so well versed with our galactic history, but there's some things that I really feel are important to point out. And we already are beginning to understand that we have a very complicated galactic history. At one point, we held a much higher levels of consciousness here on the earth plane. And it was really never supposed to be the way that it is with really being in more a 3D realm of consciousness. In fact, this earth experience was intended for us to have access to many different dimensions of consciousness and to be able to move freely through them. It is important to note that many starseeds, really prior to first incarnating on the earth realm, has spent considerable times in higher dimensional realms. And Lumeria was an experiment of establishing a place on Earth that many different star nations participated. And what is really important about the energy and frequency of this time is that beings were very psychic, very telepathic, very connected in many ways to higher consciousness. The divine feminine was really celebrated at this time, and women were spiritual teachers. And really, during this time, we honored the planet, we honored Gaia, we honored nature, and we honored each other. And really, during the period of Atlantis, during this time, there was a tendency to adopt really more, different kinds of technology, but also more of a masculine mind-based way of thinking and feeling, and really sort of abandoning in many ways this heart-based way of living. And so we saw sort of this split between those who had the highest intentions for Earth and those who were really more self-serving and wanting to control and dominate. And so what I really want to underscore and highlight is that this is a history that's played out in many places and spaces throughout the universe. And so we're really being invited to learn from that at this time. Again, Earth was never supposed to fully resonate in the 3D, but through these cataclysmic events, it really pulled us down into a lower realm of consciousness. And so what is exciting about this time is that each of us is helping to realign, to reharmonize the frequencies on the planet at this time through our communication, through our art, through our creativity. And so for everyone out there who is inspired to create in some way, your gifts and talents are so needed at this time in helping us to heal distortions within the field. And so why now? I know Raquel touched on this in her presentation, but this is a heightened time of awareness that we are experiencing collectively. And there are evolutionary cycles that coincide with Stargate openings. And during this time, we have historically seen a heightened time of chaos and activity on the Earth. So this isn't a new phenomenon. These processions of equinoxes and cosmic evolutionary cycles bring forth a lot of disclosure, a lot of activity on the planet. And so we are becoming more aware of the forces that are not in alignment with cosmic universal law at this time, and those trying to create as many distractions as possible to prevent collective awakening. Essentially, we are in a battle for consciousness, for our life force energy. And so what's important to point out from a timing perspective, in this year, Pluto is going to be re-entering Aquarius. And this is a big cosmic event that's going to take place when Pluto is conjunct the sun on January 20th and will be traversing back and forth between Capricorn and Aquarius throughout this year. There are these turning points and helping us pull us more deeper into the age of Aquarius. And this really is a build, I would say, of momentum that is taking us forward into these years of great change. Between the years of 2025 and 2027, many of the outer planets are going to be changing signs. And these movements are going to coincide with great Earth changes that have been predicted by many different sources, including the Mayan predictions, including Ra Aruhu's 2027 prophecy, where we're going to be moving from the cross of planning into the cross of the sleeping phoenix, where that is going to really have a shift where we're in much more of an individual energy as opposed to more of a tribal way of thinking and being, where each of our unique gifts are more celebrated and accepted and needed during this time of great change. And so if we are aware of the changes that are taking place, we're able to really find, I feel, our center during this time of great change, to be in our heart space, to be in a place of neutrality, of doing the inner work, so that we're able to embrace the changes of this time. And so a part of this disclosure is really recognizing not only about ETs, which can be really, exciting energy to tap into, but it's also about the manipulation that's taking place within plain sight. There's massive change that's taking place upon the earth at this time over the last 3 years. We are all aware of all that is taking place. And, with this, I just really want to highlight some of the interference that's taking place at this time. Starseed children being targeted, toxins that are in our environment, our water and our food, chronic diseases that are skyrocketing, the violence that is infused into the media, into television, the censorship that's taking place, and the power dynamics that we see in governments and different structures and systems. And we really truly are at such a pivotal time that requires us to learn from our past, to integrate, to heal, so that we're able to make different choices moving forward. But the really beautiful thing about this time is that each of our gifts are so needed, and we each get to play a role in helping the planet to become the beautiful place that we know it can be. We truly have all of the resources and the gifts to help make great change at this time. And it's really going to be activated through our creativity, through the embracing of each one of our cosmic soul songs. And so our seeds during this time. Through these galactic readings, we begin to see how we are creating the environment. We're creating the energy to support new star children coming in. These are amazing souls that are incarnating on the earth at this time. And these souls have the ability to come in and bring in codes, bring in cosmic frequencies, bring in different wisdom and teaching and technology to help us to heal and help us to raise collective consciousness. And what I really want to share about this is that this has been made possible by the awakening of many across the planet, and many of us doing the work to heal, to clear, to harmonize. And we've come so far, and we really do need the tools to be able to witness and support these new beings coming in. So just a few things that maybe to be mindful and aware of to support these new souls coming in this time. I really have the honor of bringing in one of these star beings at this time, and they really are our teachers. They're here to help guide us. And so if we can bring levity, bring this joyful energy, creativity, and play, this can be so helpful because they come from really higher levels of consciousness, lower density. And so it's also really important to create an atmosphere, an energy of unconditional love and safety, because many of these beings are bringing really unconventional ideas, wisdom. They have still such a deep connection in place. And it's really important that they feel safe to be seen and to be witnessed, to be their authentic selves. These beings also need time out in nature. They need less connection to devices, to, or anything artificial, whether it's sugar or processed food. They really need high vibrational foods and water, um, and time out in nature, time in, time to connect with Gaia, with nature, with animals. And um, they really come here to help us heal. But as we heal, we make room for, for that process of sharing to be even more clear. Again, we are paving the way. And so, what I really want to share here is this is not just about the new souls coming in. It's really about each and every one of us, because everybody tuning in to this gathering, this amazing gathering, are star seeds, are coming here to help during this time of great shifts on the planet. And so some of the ways that we can further support ourselves and each other at this time is, again, healing our trauma. These are times when some of the trauma that we've been through can make it difficult to really access our authentic cosmic soul song. We might feel disconnected from our guides, from our higher self, from our own innate divine wisdom. And this is really a clue, an indication that we need to go within, that we are being invited to those spaces and places that are maybe a bit more tender, that need more of our loving awareness and consciousness at this time. Because truly what's important to remember is that we are a part of the collective. So all of the events and the turmoil that is happening externally, we are not separate from that. And we are so deeply connected to all that's transpiring. And so it's not surprising that many, past life memories, ancestral traumas are coming to the surface at this time, with an invitation for us to bring more conscious awareness, to be able to heal these at this time. And so what's beautiful about the healing work that each of us do is that it has the ability to not only impact us from an ancestral perspective, but also for future generations, and really bringing us back into our pure vibrational essence. Another thing that we can do at this time is to let go of false frequencies. These frequencies that are not even ours, the frequencies of competition, of fear, of comparison, of jealousy, of unworthiness, not good enough. These are so infiltrated into our collective consciousness. And I feel we are so empathic. We are all such sensitive beings that oftentimes we can internalize these thoughts to become our own. And through this repetitive brain wave activity, it becomes sort of a part of us that we need to remember that these are actually not our thoughts, right? Because they can be reinforced over time. But when we begin to realize that these thoughts are not us, they are not ours, they are distortions within the field, we can begin to release these false frequencies. And so keeping in mind that these egoic structures in our collective consciousness are really meant to be released at this time. Any forms of superior thinking or inferior thinking are really two sides of the same coin. The thoughts of feeling better than someone, feeling higher, feeling more important than, or similar to the thoughts of feeling less than or unworthy or not enough. These are originating from the same inflection point of feeling a lack of unity consciousness, of not realizing or remembering this one eternal source of God consciousness that we all are, that we are all sparks of the divine. And so forgiveness, acceptance, and love, our emotions are the key to unlocking hidden gifts and abilities. And we can recognize that if we're holding on to shame or guilt, we're essentially blocking our soul's evolution. And we're blocking some of the most potent and magical gifts that reside within us. And we all, through these starseed readings, through our remembrance, we recognize that we have a very complicated and diverse galactic history. We've likely experienced roles and being the victim or the victimizer. And we need to practice forgiveness in order to be able to alchemize, to integrate these past soul memories. And I really do feel that with all that's taking place, loving ourselves fully and completely can be one of the greatest acts of rebellion. It really is the ability to bring unconditional love to ourselves in each now moment, and to be that compassionate witness for ourselves. And so, as we enter this age of great transparency, it's important to know that higher consciousness beings can really see all emotions and thought forms. And these are gifts that are really beginning to come back online for many of us. And so, in an age of transparency, it's not about hiding anything, right? Because it all comes to the surface. It's about alchemizing. It's about bringing compassion and non-judgment, so that we're able to move forward in a more loving way, which really allows us to illuminate our path back home. So a couple other things that I want to point out that can be so helpful during this time. Working with sound frequencies. I mentioned in my own personal journey just the potency and the medicine of working with sound. And what's unique about sound frequencies is that they have the ability to transcend our thinking mind, and bring us back into the heart, really transforming us on a cellular level. And so we're just beginning to tap into what ancient cultures and many star races already know, which is that sound can help us in so many different ways. Ancient cultures worked with sound to aid with fertility, to help in childbirth, to rid the body of sickness and disease. And we know kind of all of these biological markers that sound can help us with, such as lowering our heart rate levels, lowering our blood pressure, helping to release tension in the body. But we're starting to recognize the profound impact that sound has on a multidimensional level. As Dr. Stephen Halpern said, sound is a carrier wave of consciousness. So that really alludes and illuminates the fact that it is sound combined with the power of intention that can create that potent formula of healing. And so one of the most powerful instruments is the human voice to help us heal. And so we can tap into chanting, to toning, to really speaking prayers and intentions into the universe to be able to shift us on a cellular level. Another thing just to keep in mind during this time is to align with our highest timeline. not getting caught up in the fear and the chaos and the drama that's taking place. As we talked about, there are a lot of distractions that are taking place intentionally right now to divide us, whether it's, politics, whether it's war, whether it's, current events in our news. But what's so important right now is to hold the highest timeline for ourselves and humanity, really anchoring into the physical body the sense of calming our nervous system, being in a grounded place and space so that we really are the eye of the storm, so to speak. We can create that divine peace in really any situation that's happening externally. And I think it's really important for us to use discernment at this time, and this time of disclosure and connections with extraterrestrials, because there may likely and has already been manipulation to create or instill fear at this time. But really using our discernment, we're able to tap into what is our own unique truth and focusing on the beauty that's unfolding instead of getting caught in the doom and gloom. I think it's helpful to know that change is going to play out regardless. But I really do feel that these changes are going to affect us differently, each and every one of us, depending on sort of the inner work that we've done and our own inner journey. And so the greatest gift that we can possibly give is our frequency. And we each can play such a pivotal role in assisting humanity during this time. We can ask ourselves, what does the earth need? What does humanity need at this time? What does Gaia need? How may I be of the highest, greatest service? There can be this belief that aliens are coming to save us, or there's going to be this big event that's going to change everything. And that's not my understanding of, how this time is playing out. It really is my understanding that each of us is going to play a role in this collective change. It requires each of us being the leaders that we came here to be, sharing our cosmic soul song that will create a shift on the planet and beyond. So, there's this idea of spiritual devotion and responsibility. It can be exciting to focus on all the revelations that are taking place, but there's also this invitation to really do the work on a daily basis to live in alignment with the highest frequency and vibration possible. And I know that this is going to shift for each of us moment to moment and day by day, but really it is that intention to be our best selves, to connect with our higher selves, and to really look no further than our lives as the ultimate reflection of our spiritual path. If our life is in disarray, or our relationships are in disarray, or our home is in disarray, this is maybe likely a clue that we need to take the wisdom and the teachings that we hold and to integrate them further onto a day-to-day basis into walking our spiritual path. And as we do this inner work, our field can receive and transmit with more clarity. And so we talked about this a little bit with Tamara in the beginning about business really shifting dramatically at this time, mirroring the shift that each of us is undergoing. And so what we'll begin to see more and more is people following their passions and supporting community, as opposed to just being more motivated by maybe recognition or just purely financial gain. What we're going to see and witness, I believe, with businesses is that they're going to have to be much more agile and in tune. We're going to see businesses really start to rely on more of these spiritual modalities and teachings, getting the support of intuitive guidance and being open to many different modalities of healing. And so we can also, see that businesses are going to need to look at events from a creative lens in order to solve problems, in order to innovate during this time. And also, I think that we're going to see that, a lot of star seeds are called to healing modalities, which is amazing and so needed at this time. But really, what is needed is star seeds to be in so many places and spaces where they're called to be able to help uplift and change different systems and structures. So whether it's medicine, whether it's law, whether it's banking, whether it's politics, we're going to see many beings called to changing these systems and structures. And we're also going to see so many new fields emerging, which is really exciting. New gifts and talents and teachings that are going to be so needed during this time. So as we just wrap up our time together today, I really want to share that when we've reached this point in collective consciousness where we're truly awakening to our divine potential. So whether it's, the cosmic evolutionary cycles that we're in, or something that has been more divinely timed and orchestrated to play out at this very now moment, what's important to realize and connect with is that we have free will. And in order to evolve, we need to consciously choose love instead of choosing fear. And when we lower our energy, we also limit our conscious bandwidth, and we can forget who we are. We can forget our galactic memories and history. And so we're really being called to remember at this time, and each and every one of us awakening, we send a ripple effect into the universe and beyond. We have each been encoded with these gifts that are being activated and shared at this time. And so we can, I truly believe, co-create a world with no war, no poverty, no chronic illness, no top-down power dynamics, a world where we can be of service to each other and come into greater harmony and unity. And it is that creating from a higher octave requires our energetic vibration to be in alignment with our thoughts, with our beliefs, with our actions. And as we remove discordant frequencies, as we remove false frequencies, we begin to create from a higher octave of consciousness. And each and every one of our authentic cosmic soul songs can flow forth. So thank you, each and every one of you, for the energy that you bring at this time. It is so needed. Thank you so much to Neil and to all of those involved with this amazing gathering. I just want to share a little bit about my own unique path of service. I assist with starseed readings, with helping people to really connect with their blueprint and infuse that into a conscious business, and also through sound activations, in-person sound healing events. And so for anybody in resonance, I would love to invite you to connect with me, send me an email. I've also included my links here as well, and look forward to connecting. And again, thank you so much to Neil and to the entire team